computer and stuff. Okay.
Got it.
Cool. All right. Well, welcome everyone. Another edition of SacPy. It's August 4th, 2022. Technically, we're still in pandemic. This is definitely SacPy in pandemic mode, aka Zoom meeting instead of in person. One day maybe we'll resume in person. Anyone have any connections at Hacker Lab? I don't know. I think this whole stream to a Zoom meetup thing is here to stay, though. All hail the glorious founder of SacPy, Josh Miller. Started back in February of 2017 and handed off to me when he bounced out of town at the beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic. I think we did three, maybe 4 in-person meetups that year before it switched to Zoom, and it's been 30 some odd instances since then. So good times.
It's great if you come by sometimes. We could toast him.
Yeah, seriously. Well, I think he's in Tennessee or something, so that might be like a slightly non-trivial swing by. But you know, maybe it'll happen one day. Well, fingers crossed. Josh, if you watch this, and I doubt it, these things get like 5 views. But if you watch this, come by. I'll email you though too. All right, so code of conduct is a small crowd. I don't feel like we're gonna get Zoom bombed in this one, but we're a nice crowd here, and we generally try to keep it that way. And if you say like ridiculous things because you came through a Zoom link on Reddit, well, you might get booted. But I don't think we have that tonight. Everyone's talked so far. I don't think I said hi to Mark yet. Hey, Mark, how's it going? Welcome. And welcome everyone else.
Pretty good. Been a while since I've been in.
Awesome. Oh, you've been here before.
It's probably been over a year, probably closer to 18 months.
Cool. Welcome back.
Thank
all
you.
right. If you guys are not on it yet, we have chat channels in Slack and in Discord. I'll get out of the way of this one real quick. If people want a screenshot for scanning later. Yeah, the Slack one's run by a group called SacTech, as in Sacramento, California technology. You got a whole bunch of things in there. I looked at a few of them, but SacPy is just one of them. Brazen Studios is my company, fairly similar. SacPy is one of many channels. I try to coordinate through both of them, and you know, varying levels of success. 7 participants. I'll chalk that one up to summer and people not being indoors. But for those of you who made it, thanks for coming. And jump on either of those channels. I'll be active in both of them. We also have some other channels, Twitter, Reddit, a couple Facebook things. I post stuff in there just for good measure. Yeah, and if anyone wants to help out with any of those things, let me know. Yeah, you can find me in all those channels. All right, now's the time to jump onto your video. If you want to get on the on the next like Brady Bunch picture that we got here. How do I go to when I go to the view where I can see everyone? Oh, there we go. Okay, we got, oh man, we got, was it Twinkles? Who is it these days? Sprinkles? Twinkie? All right, well, it's just you and me. Cool. Thank you, little Budgie Bird, the star of the show. Okay, so switching over to the presentation at hand. I'll be presenting this month again. And this time we are going over someone else's project. A pretty interesting one that's come up in the last, 2.5 years or something like that. Let's get these slides going. Preparing. There we go. All right, this is, like I said, this is a Brazen Studios thing. It's me in the, oh wait, no, it's like that. Oh, up there, that's me. I was like standing in front of something and someone took a cool picture of it. But we're going to be talking about this thing, OpenBB, and yeah, let's jump into it. So OpenBB, we think the BB stands for Bloomberg, but yeah. If you'd like to follow along, here's the link to the company webpage and some instructions for how to get it done. As we were gathering at the beginning, Robert pointed out that the screenshot here, this is an animated terminal interface that has like selectable text, which is, I don't know, it's a little interesting, but it's an animation. And so it kind of takes a while to go through. You can't just like rapidly scroll down the page and find all the terminal commands to input in order to properly install it. I guess it kind of gives you a general idea of what to expect from your terminal when you input any of the given commands, but I don't know. I haven't seen it before. I don't know if this is going to get replicated enough or that often, but it works, I guess. But yeah, as I pointed out in the meetup group, I don't know if you guys saw the email, but you need this, you need Conda installed in order to follow along with that particular install set. There are also native installation options for both Mac and Windows. And another one that I will show you guys a little bit further on down the line. Okay, so like I said, the BB and OpenBB is likely to refer to Bloomberg unless there's something else from the community this came out of that I don't know about. But yeah, so Bloomberg Experiential Learning Partner is the product that this OpenBB thing sought to, I don't know if clone is the word. I've seen it posted or posed as like a challenger to Bloomberg, but essentially they were attempting to replicate a lot of the functionality of this basically Wall Street mainstay for the last 41 years and bring it into an open source project in Python. So you may have seen these in movies. This is what a terminal looks like in Bloomberg. They have this like quintessential orange color that they would use in their interface. They've also got this funny colored keyboard over here. And yeah, the colored keys have specific functions that they perform. But yeah, like whenever whenever you watch a Hollywood movie that has Wall Street and a trading floor, you got all the like stockbrokers and whatnot. Usually it's a whole bunch of these things. They've all got a million screens in front of them. There's a bunch of charts running, a news ticker, and stock prices and stuff like that. But yeah, that's what those things are. They are Bloomberg terminals. Some facts about Bloomberg: launched back in 1981. So pre, American on. Is that pre-America Online? This is slightly before, I believe. But early 80s. It's used for market data, trading, research, obviously stock exchange being a big one. And then there's just a million other things in the financial sector that you can be following, whatever, unemployment or, ETFs or bonds and commodities and what have you. There's a million financial vehicles in the world. There's new ones all the time. There was a movie about one that was created and then the whole phenomenon in The Big Short. Credit default swaps, I think they called them. But yeah, that's the sort of data that you would track through a Bloomberg terminal. And it's a vertically integrated stack, like a computer. I think before, this wasn't even personal computer days. This was more like bringing the mainframe to a broader.
This is the beginning of personal computer days.
Yeah, exactly. But it was hardware and software together. Annual cost these days, I think, is more than it was, but it's always been prohibitively expensive. $2,000 a month. You're basically paying like a rent for an apartment in order to have one of these. And stock trading firms will have dozens, if not hundreds. So it's interesting to think like what some of those firms put in just having the hardware and software available to do what they're doing. And this thing was like one of the earliest movers and still doing it to this day. Not a huge subscribership, 325,000, obviously, mostly very wealthy or at least just professional firms. But 325,000 subscribers is absolutely tiny. You look at something like I don't know, Facebook, and you've got 2 billion users. You've got millions of users logged in at any given time. You know, absolutely dwarfs this kind of user base. But if you consider the annual cost is $24,000 a year, and you got 325,000 people doing it, well, you know, do the numbers. It's a lot of money. But yeah, it's a $10 billion annual revenue business. Basically, it's a monopoly, and it's entirely entirely private. I don't think they've ever been a public business. So kind of crazy. At the tip of the spear, at the top of the pyramid in the financial world, there's this private company that's been running its own internet of financial data. But yeah, Bloomberg. You might have recognized that name. If you didn't know it from finance, you knew it perhaps from the Democratic primaries back in 2020. Michael Bloomberg ran for president, and well, he didn't make it. But yeah, here's a trading room with a whole bunch of those terminals. I've probably seen that particular scene before. You know, you get a bunch of traders hopped up on espresso and whatever their favorite stimulants are, yelling at one another, and you know, making huge bets on tiny movements in the market, and you know, either winning the day or packing it in and losing it all in one go. Crazy stuff. So fast forward to 2020. A whole bunch of people are at home. They have been quarantined due to this pandemic that we all have dealt with and are hopefully still kind of handling. Technically still in the throes of COVID. A bunch of people had stimulus checks, and a handful of them in this one Reddit called Wall Street Bets, a subreddit dedicated to kind of stock gossip, not really, it's not professional advice. I wouldn't even say it's necessarily good advice. More often than not, it's people bragging either about recent wins or more likely their losses. They're all talking about making trades and put options and stuff like that, stuff in the financial sector, but being done from the end user perspective. These people were wielding $1,000, a Robinhood mobile app for their trading, for their broker, and then kind of working together. And they famously short squeezed the GameStop, GME, GameStop stock. Handful of people made some money, but there was a crazy amount of flurry around it. And it was all this community, Wall Street Bets from Reddit. I think most of their activity was coordinated over a Discord when they were doing the short squeeze, because I think that's like kind of a relatively pixel perfect activity that needs to be taken. It needs a whole bunch of coordination, and it needs to have a whole bunch of activity within a very short period of time. I should have pulled the graph up on that one. Maybe we can pull it up in this terminal later. But yeah, Wall Street Bets is where this thing came from. Okay, so here's where it was debuted. This is saying like a year ago. You can see if you scroll in there, the author of this thing, this guy Didier Lopez. He's based out of UK. I think he's Portuguese, or it's not Lopez, it's Lopes. But he, over his like winter break 2020 to 2021, after losing a whole bunch of money on GameStop, the GameStop frenzy, realized like, hey, well, this would be really cool if we put together something like the Wall Street guys have, and it's just data. And what if this thing were open source? And what if we wrote it in Python? And what if we just got it out there? And so it was fitting that out of Reddit, they would, one of the earliest stops in promoting it would be Reddit itself. They also promoted it early on in Hacker News. You can see this post was from February of 2021, when the real activity around this project started in December or so. But yeah, at this point, it was still called Gamestonk terminal. Stonk being a meme from the Wall Street bets world. I think this is like a picture of a guy with like a funny looking face, and then there's like some graphs with like a chart going up, and it just says stonks. I think Elon at some point made some comment about what was going on and said game stonk, and so they're like, oh, that's a great name. So it was initially called Gamestonk Terminal before it was rebranded to what it is today, OpenBB. So OpenBB, it's OpenBB terminals, part of what we'll go over. We'll also go over another part of what they've done. But it's an open sourced Python-based environment. So, you know, everyone knows Python. Python's pretty much platform agnostic. So this thing can run on lots of things. It's got hundreds of functions. I think 750 or so was the count I saw, but as you can see, it is dedicated to a whole bunch of different financial products, ETFs, Forex, stock, crypto. Crypto's an interesting one. I think Bloomberg terminals probably have data on that. I don't know. I've never touched one. But yeah, this thing is pretty cool in that it's pulling in more than just your standard financial market data. But yeah, you know, open source being what it is, anyone can jump on this thing and they can either use it or they can contribute to it or take it and turn it into whatever they like. But it is a very powerful set of analytic tools and has a pretty neat interface. And we'll play around with it in a little bit here. There's a lot of fancy words here. I don't know a whole lot about Forex data. Well, it's foreign exchange stuff. Excel models, something about Microsoft co-integration. I think means that literally you can put it in your own data sources, which is pretty cool. Autocorrelation, max drawdown, volatility surface, what have you, tons of stuff. All pretty standard to the financial sector as I understand it. But yeah, now in the last few months or years or whatever is available through this thing called OpenBB. So if you'd like to check out the GitHub, that's the link there. On GitHub, their organization is called OpenBB and the thing's called OpenBB Terminal. I think Robert was downloading it early on in the meeting tonight, and it was taking some time. It does take a little while. I have it on my computer and it is like
Actually, it does something really interesting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so so they have the Conda configuration in the project, right? So you just do let's see, you just do they give you the command and you copy and paste it, and that takes the YAML file that's in the project and creates your Conda environment from that, and then after that you just go ahead and activate it. So that's a neat feature. And I guess one of the little tangents here is Conda, which is one of the two ways of packaging things in Python, right? Yeah, obviously, is anyone of the 7 people on this call not familiar with Conda?
Oh yeah, very good question. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm fairly new to it myself, but I understand it was created by this guy, Travis Oliphant, something Oliphant. But he's the mind behind SacPy and NumPy.
Right.
And
yes, so but practically it's one of the 2 packaging systems, right? And there's Conda and there's pip. You're gonna be using one or the other. And Conda has some additional features over pip. But yeah, it worked for me right out of the box, and I got my Conda environment now.
Well, do you know some of the different features? I'm still
Conda?
Yeah.
Well, Conda has some, basically low-level things beyond NumPy and SciPy, sort of low-level math accelerators, that is special libraries. I think Numba is a one that's used to create, fast code in Python. That's one of the benefits of Conda.
Yeah, but I don't think you get that.
Oh,
just
you don't
by
get that
installing
for
Conda.
free?
That's one of the packages in Conda, right?
Right. And
But the more significant thing is that with Conda, you do two things. One is you have a packaging system, and the other is that you create environments. Whereas without Conda, you would have to use was it make environment? I think that's the name.
No, it's virtual env.
Yeah, virtual env, right? And virtual
the-
env creates a different environment with its own interpreter and its own package tree, and then you use a packaging system like pip to install the packages into it, and that gives you your runtime environment that for things that you can call by import in your code. But Conda does both, and as well it has tools for building things from source code. So it's because it does all those other things, and it services other languages besides Python. It's the standard for the scientific community, the data science community. Yeah, it's you can create an environment, and you can pull down different versions of Python from Conda and to configure your environment. So it has a lot of features. My previous job, I had to have a crash course in it, since that was our packaging system. But if you are following along with the instructions for OpenBB, those steps that involve Conda are pretty explicit. For doing this, you can do it. And actually, there are a number of YouTube channels where they have great explanations of Conda and simple little projects. And I can add links for those after the presentation.
Cool. Oh, yeah, maybe we can do a feature on Conda or Anaconda in the future. Or some future choice, but yeah, for a SacPy coming up. Thanks for that, though. I'm still learning myself, so it's good to know. All right, so one of the things about this project is a ton of people have joined in and swarmed the project and made tons of contributions. And so the nice part of that is there's a ton of polish on all the possible canvases for an open source project, so that the documentation on it seems to be pretty alive. It's pretty comprehensive and changing as the project evolves. So kudos to DDA and team. Keep it up, and hopefully I'll figure out some way to contribute. If not, I'll just continue cheerleading. So far I like it. But yeah, the GitHub documentation's pretty deep. So one cool part about open source projects is the talent that contributes comes from pretty much, or can come from pretty much anywhere. And so if you look at, there's this group, there's this tool on GitHub, I think it's called OSS Insights, Open Source Software Insights. And you can run it on a GitHub repository, and it'll show you data on basically where the contributors are coming from. And there's a whole bunch of people from pretty high flown tech companies, Google and Microsoft, et cetera, that have been, have starred and have contributed in the project. But in particular, I'm kind of into bots. I really like Discord. And so there's a 16-year-old that came in with the contribution of the Discord bot. So I thought that was pretty cool. And just the other day, the BB bot, OpenBB bot, not a stutter, was finally verified for the Discord platform. And we can play around with that later. I don't know if anyone's jumped on to the Brazen Studios Discord yet, but I have it installed on there. I'll play around with it on the stream here before we wrap up. But kudos to the team there for getting that through. It was relatively simple to configure. I think it's a little bit constrained on a number of aspects because the bot is something that's running on their servers, and so they've built in some monetization mechanics. I think alerts was the area where they've focused as far as how to monetize. You get one free alert, so if you're trying to watch a whole portfolio of stock prices or other financial products, then you might pay for more alerts. So kudos to the team for figuring out how to monetize it. It's kind of cool that the terminal's completely open, but the bot is, where they can make some money. So I like that. Yeah, it's called options.
What does the bot do?
The bot presents an interface within Discord for interacting with the code base. And so the nice part about that is while Python is platform agnostic, it's not really default on phones, but Discord in its default configuration can handle this bot parsing and presenting that information without having to do any new adaptations for mobile. So yeah, like I said, we'll play around with that in a little bit. So here's that's Didier Loves there. I think he was presenting at Linux Foundation or something like that. That wasn't too long ago, just the other day. So yeah, here's some relevant links. And take a screenshot. I think that might be the Discord, but yeah, the really cool website. GitHub's great. Their Discord's very active. I think I signed up for the newsletter. I don't know that I can comment on that. I haven't read any of their newsletters, but if it's as polished as the rest of it, it's probably pretty good. Yeah, and follow them on LinkedIn and Twitter. Seems like a pretty cool group of people. Try to get this thing going.
Right, happiness.
Cool. Okay, so let's see, Discord. Here's the SacPy channel. As you can see, I'm trying to drive a little bit of traffic earlier today. Over here on the right, you can see the options fam bot. Maybe you can see the tooltip there, and it has a pretty sizable list of. Hey, what's going on with? Why is everything screwing me up right now? Okay, options fam, what's going on? Why can't we talk to you? Let's do the / command. You should come up in the list. Hey, there you are. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So here's all the / commands that you can issue from the options fam bot. A lot of these things will print out tables, in some cases charts. Often they're like fairly nicely formatted reports on whatever you're looking for. And it's pretty nice, like I said, because this thing works on the desktop just as well as the mobile. And mobile is, notoriously difficult to bring Python into. Okay, let's see.
So where is this bot being hosted? Is this yours?
So I didn't implement their bot. They do offer the code for the bot, but they have one on the website now, and so you can just kind of install it from their website. So here, this is what the bot has spit out for us. This is I believe a Polygon chart. Yeah, top left there, polygon.io. And so there's Tesla today. Looks like Wall Street was pretty okay with their expectations on the quarterly shareholders meeting today. Maybe tomorrow something will happen because of some of the answers he gave. Who knows? Wow. Okay, so what's going on here? I would show you guys this whole thing, but something has gone wrong with my computer. .env is missing. And awesome. Anyone have it working that played along earlier?
So I have it running on in my shell.
Uh-huh. Cool. I believe you can share if you'd like to.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let's see here. Share screen. Let's see here. Basic. Can we just say share?
Okay. I think I figured out what I did wrong. Does anyone know how to enter a different environment in Anaconda? This one had me in base, but I need to be in GST or something like that, which is
Yeah,
the,
Conda activate, and then the name of your environment.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
okay,
So-
cool. Yeah, let's try this again.
You can always do Conda list ENVs too. I don't know.
Oh,
the
cool.
list of your environments.
Yeah, like I said, I'm kind of learning here. Okay, so this should work. Nope, what? No such file. Oh, yeah, we gotta. Might actually want to be in the thing. Okay, cool. Awesome. Good old demos. And it takes a little while to load because it's pretty big. But yeah, so your classic text adventure type interface. Can everyone see that? OpenBB terminal 1.6.0. Here we are in the home screen. You've got a pretty nicely formatted list of commands and descriptions of what they do. The main menu down here has the main top level thing. Stocks here is the most fully developed section, and it leaves you with a little command prompt at the end. So this command prompt takes a good amount of complexity as far as like what you can put into it. You don't just have to go one menu at a time. Like say, for example, go to stocks. Oh, as you can see, there's some autocomplete options there. It's kind of neat. I think it's called prompt or something like that. But anyway, we'll head into the stocks menu there. Cool. So stocks. Default stocks currently does not have a stock symbol loaded. And so to load a stock symbol, you use the load command. And so let's look at, might as well look at the GameStop stock symbol, because that was the reason all this happened. So pretty straightforward. Pull some data from the various feeds it's integrated with. There's a number of free tiers integrated in just like the base level of this thing. I think Yahoo Finance is a big one. There's a whole bunch of others, but there's a whole bunch of free data on the internet, and this thing brings it together pretty nicely. So we're in the stocks menu. If we want to pull up the options, we can type help. Bring it up. As you can see now, the stock is loaded. GameStop. Wait, what's NYQ? Is that NASDAQ? NYSE is New York Stock Exchange. Well, anyway. So let's see, what can we do? Let's see, technical analysis. What is the technical analysis of GameStop? You just type in TA once you have the stock loaded. Cool. So there's a bunch of things here. Like I said, stock is a very well developed area of this. TV, I think this, can I add stock, or can I add windows for sharing as I go along? I think I might I do TV, it should open up GameStop or GameStop in a Chrome terminal. So yeah, I can see it. I don't think you guys can. Let's skip over this. There we go. Okay, can we see that side by side? Yeah, no? Anybody?
Yeah, I can see it.
That's working? Okay, cool. Yeah, so like Trading View pulls that up. Let's see what else. What's another cool one we could do in here? Let's look at, I don't know what this is. I'm just sort of poking around with features in this thing at this point. Average directional movement index. Let's look at that. Oh, that opened something up. Let's look at that too. Cool. So that one prints a chart. It opens up a separate terminal window and then uses matplotlib to draw out the charts that you request. If I was a more intelligent investor, I might know what that means, but it looks pretty, I think. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, a list of other things we can go through on this. All right. So we loaded a stock. Ooh, let's look at one of the extensions that we can do stuff with. Let's go back to stocks. Oh no, what have I done? Oh, okay. Let's go to the stocks menu. We still have GameStop loaded. We'll do a prediction technique. Now, prediction techniques use machine learning. In particular, they use TensorFlow, the machine learning toolkit available from Google. It's been open source since 2015. I think they've been working on that project for like a really long time, since like late 90s or something. But they, less than 10 years ago, they open sourced it. The world has never been the same. So let's go to prediction techniques. Check that out. Load that up. Let's do a recurrent neural network on it. Recurrent neural networks need to be bounded by a sample. So we'll do 20 days. And it'll run through and train the thing real quick. Spit out some nice little loading charts for us. Ooh, look at it go. It's getting so smart. And here, spit this thing out. I'll show you that one. There we go. Check that out. Kind of cool. Real data, predictions, forecast. Pretty. I don't know how accurate these predictions are, but whatever. Maybe someone will come in and teach a little more and everyone else will benefit. Who knows though? Maybe it's just smaller firms will have their own little internal networks that have smarter prediction options. Let's see. That's a cool one. So Taneem is here, so we should also look at alternative sources of data and look at COVID, because Taneem has shown us some pretty cool work in tracking COVID. Let's look at cases. What's that going to give us? Oh, right. Yeah, I need to show that one. Let's do that. Cool. So that one spit this thing out for us. Pretty neat. Currently, cases went ham at the beginning of the year. What is that? Oh, 800,000 cases in the beginning of this year and then dropped. So realistically, like where we're at presently in this pandemic is it's not much lower than where we were, beginning of last year. Crazy. Wonder why that is. Is that when the free testing kits came out? Who knows?
I think the Omicron.
Oh, okay. All right, that was the COVID one. Yeah, let's look at NFTs. Where's that one? Is it crypto? It's probably crypto, huh? NFTs, do I need to load stuff for that? No. Let's look at today's NFT drops. Okay, so yeah, this is more of like a news feed type thing. Maybe that one's a little bit better if you had some graphicness to it, but this is a terminal. This is an OpenBB website. Women Ape Yacht Club, Kim Radon, Bear Tings Freeman, bunch of silliness. What is this? NFT calendar, I guess is the site. Yeah, whatever. That was okay. Yeah, so as I pointed out, there were some things we were doing with the neural nets that required TensorFlow to be installed. There's also some things as far as like data sources go. You can plug into APIs, and within the terminal, it gives you the option to manage your API keys. And so we'll check that out. Oh, no. Oh, did I do it right? Oh, autocomplete accidentally made me do it right. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So you can see I've got a couple of these, couple of the green ones have been updated. I think I don't actually have Alpha Advantage. I just put some randomness in there. The Quandle was Quandle, I think, is NASDAQ data. Glassnode is, I don't know, something else. ETF data or something like that. This one's like a Ethereum thing. So let's check out some of those. Yeah, I don't know if it's worth attempting to do. All right, well, maybe we'll do a spoof one. Okay, so say I wanted to add my Twitter API key. You just type in the thing and then, you know, whatever your gibberish API key. Oh, did I mess it up? Oh no, that one had a whole bunch of arguments. That was a bad example. I say I wanted to update the AV one. It would take that and update it. So, you know, you're not doing a whole lot of testing on that to make sure what they're submitting is decent, but you know, if I go and try to use Alpha Advantage, I'll get some errors there. Whatever. Yeah. That one I think is pretty cool because this is a really interesting potential monetization metric. A lot of these APIs have free tiers, and which is great for getting base levels of data, but then obviously opens your mind up to the possibilities of getting more of what they offer, which is to say, you know, crossing over into the realm of monetization. So by offering an open source project that has endpoints that utilize these API keys, what they've done with this OpenBB thing is create a lead gen model, which is really cool. I have no idea what they've done as far as keeping track of affiliates. Hopefully they've got someone on that. Maybe it's not top of mind, but either way, I think it's pretty cool. Oh my, what have I done? Oh, there we go. We looked at trading deal. Let's look at an ETF thing. ETF. So there's one fund that's kind of like exchange traded fund that's I think is kind of neat. Called ARK. I think the symbol for that is ARKF. So we'll load that one up. They hold a whole bunch of high tech stocks. And so once we got that loaded up, I think we should be able to have a little bit of analysis possible. You already did the prediction and technical analysis. Maybe let's go holdings. What does that show us? Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, okay, cool. So yeah, the ETF holdings. This is one of those charts that I was talking about. I think these get formatted a little bit differently if you're interacting with the bot in Discord. But yeah, they also have bots in other channels. Kind of wanted to mess around with. They've got a Telegram bot, they've got a Slack bot. It's all pretty cool, I think. SQ is Square, is Shopify. This one's Twilio. I like Twilio. I should get some Twilio stock. Coinbase, that's a good one. I don't know what Path is or Melly. Hood, I think is Robinhood. SI, I don't know. DSY, is that Disney? No, can't be. Whatever. Let's, what else can we look at? Candle. Oh, candle charts are neat. Yeah, okay, so need to do a new share on that. There we go. Cool. So candle charts. Those are, that's where like, let's zoom in on this thing. Yeah, candles. So the candles, there's the wax and then the wick. I think that's showing the range for the day, like the absolute lowest, the highest, and then the bulk of the trading. So yeah, kind of neat. Do I have any others I had in mind that I wanted to show? Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, so OpenBB, pretty neat, huh? I have yet to scratch the surface on this thing, I believe. But pretty cool. So, you know, I'm gonna say good work to the team over at OpenBB. Keep it up, and yeah, let's see what I can do to help out. Maybe we can get Taneem to, as he says, unknit the sweater of his work with COVID visualization and help them graft that into the project here. So
Well,
yeah,
I can, if you provide summer students who want to get good recommendation letters.
there we go. Perfect. Cool.
Mutual Back Scratch Society. Yes.
Hey, we're all about that. Cool. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. I just wanted to showcase that because I'm real into open source. Obviously, we're all about Python here, and I don't know. I really admire what they've done there. But yeah. So, any questions, or if not, anyone got anything else they want to go over or share? Otherwise, we can call it a night.
Yeah, I just kind of had a question on like the format of your kind of meetups. Do you usually just pick a project to kind of demo and share?
You know, the sky's the limit. It doesn't even always have to be technical or Python. Often people will come in and do kind of a show and tell on something they've been working with, whether it's a professional thing or a hobby thing. Taneem has something that was kind of hobby and then kind of turned to professional-ish. Maybe we're just running it on work resources. I've done some things that were related to startups that I've worked with, related to like consulting work that I've done. And this one in particular was just something that kind of came through my network, and I thought it was pretty neat. And I just wanted to showcase it because it was cool. And I think it's kind of like what the Python community is all about. But if you've got anything, please feel free to, well, speak up now or DM me later on one of those channels that I shared. You're more than welcome to present, even if it's just you know, shilling for your company in a semi-technical fashion.
Cool. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely ping you offline. And just kind of like what's the audience typically like in terms of backgrounds? Are hobbyists, obviously all professionals, but
you know, we've run the gamut. I think there's more often than not, there's at least one person that just barely knows what Python is, hasn't even done a hello world. And then like all the way up to, you know, people like Taneem, who's, you know, PhD and works at you know, a big firm that does fancy stuff in the science community. You've got people that are running startups that just want to showcase and kind of promote their work. We've got hobbyists, we've got wannabes, and I, for one, support the fake it till you make it methodology. So this is a great place to come to fake it if you just want to get a little practice.
very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm actually a developer advocate for early stage security startup.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I'd love to kind of put together a demo for you guys maybe next month, if that's possible. We're
Absolutely.
basically trying to kind of unify security. So basically when app builders pick a tech stack, they don't really have to worry about security. We've kind of curated all the common components, and you just kind of pull them off the shelf, so that you can like, build secure apps. You focus on your business logic and don't have to like reinvent the wheel for like common components. But yeah, I'd love to show what we have. So yeah, I'll ping you offline and definitely coordinate a time.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for that. Yeah, next one's September 1st. And at this point, we have a speaker slot open. So it's all yours if you're open and ready for it.
Sweet. Yeah, I'll definitely reach out. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Thanks, Nicholas. Cool. Well, all right. Well, anyone else got any questions, or should we call it and go our merry way? All right. Well, let's see. Maybe I'll put the outro up. Let's pull that up. How do we get that? There we go. Cool. So yeah, we got a few more links to share. Well, I guess you kind of preempted me a little bit there. But yeah, thanks for participating. If you want to speak, there's our QR code. But also, like I said, feel free to just ping me on any of the channels. I'm on Meetup and Slack and Discord. Yeah. We're also kind of putting together a mailing list. Maybe at some point I'll put together a Substack for that, or I don't know. We'll see. TBD. But yeah, anyone else announcements? Yeah, I think we kind of want to do. Awesome. Well, thanks again for showing up, and we'll post links to the YouTube when it goes up. And thanks everyone. And we'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.